Dear students, I welcome all of you in the video lecture series of distributed operating systems. So today's topics from unit number 9, that is security in distributed operating systems. Topics to be covered: introduction of security, goals of security, threat and attack on computer security, digital signatures and access control. Security is one of the most important principles since security need to be pervasive through the system. Security in distributed systems can be divided into two parts. One part concerns the communication between users and process, possibly residing on different machines. The principal mechanism for ensuring secure connection is secure channels, authentication, message integrity, and next, confidentiality. The other parts concern authorization, which deals with ensuring that process gets only those access rights to the resource in distributed system it is entitled to. Next, goals of security. Security policies decide the security goals of computer system, and these goals are achieved through various security mechanisms. First one is secrecy. Information within the system must be accessible only for authorized users. Next, privacy. Here, information given to the user must be used only for the purpose for which was given. Next, authenticity. Authenticity, the user must be able to verify that the data obtained is from expected sender or not. And next, integrity. Information must be protected from unauthorized access. In this case, one has to ensure that the data is not changed in course of certain period. In addition, the right procedure have to be taken ensure that unauthorized people do not alter the data. Next, potential threat and attack on computer security. First one is threat. Threat is possible danger that might exploit a vulnerability to breach security and thus cause possible harm. Next is attack. Attack is any attempt to destroy, expose, alter, disable, or gain unauthorized access to or make unauthorized use of asset. Next, types of threats. First one is interception. Interception is unauthorized user gaining access to service or data. For example, eavesdropping, or you can say illegal copying. Breaking into systems and copying data, sniffing password being sent over the network. That are the example of interception. Next is interruption. The service or data becoming unavailable, unusable, or destroyed. For example, denial of service attack. Next is modification. Unauthorized changing of data or service so that no longer adhere to its original specification. intercepting and changing transmitted data, changing a program so that secretly logs the activities of users. And next, fabrication. Additional data or activity is generated that would normally not exist. For example, adding entry to password, file or database, breaking into system by replaying previous sent message. Next, security policy and mechanisms. Security policy describe what action the entities in systems are allowed to take and which ones are prohibited. Security mechanism implement security policies. The following techniques are used. First one is encryption. Here encryption, that is, provides a means to implement confidentiality since it transfers the data into ciphertext which attacker cannot understand, so that third parties could not understand that particular message or information. Only authorized receiver can understand that particular data or message. Next is authentication. To verify whether the user, client, server are authenticated or not. Users are authenticated by password. Next, authorization. To check as whether the client is authorized to perform specific task. Next, auditing. Tools are used to trace which client accessed what information and when they did so. Here, authorization is performed once the client is authenticated, and after authorization, auditing tools, these are used to trace which client accessed what information and what time. Next, type of attacks. Two parts: passive attack and active attacks. In passive attack, first one is browsing, inferencing, next masquerading, next active attacks, that is virus, worm, logic bomb, integrity attack, authenticity attack, delay attack, replay attack, and last is denial attack. First one is passive attack. Passive attack attempts to learn or make use of information from the system but does not affect system resource. Intruder, that is, intruder access unauthorized information from computer system but cannot cause harm to the system. Here intruder, that is the person or program for unauthorized access to data. First one is browsing. Browsing attack. Intruders here attempt to read stored files, traverse message packet on network, access other process memory without modifying any data. Next is inferencing. The intruder records and analyzes past activities and access methods and use this information to draw inferences. For example, if information is encrypted to protect unauthorized access. An intruder may try to derive the encryption key by analyzing several pieces of encrypted data. Next, masquerading. Masquerading, that is, an intruder masquerades as an authorized user or a program to gain access to unauthorized data or resource. For instance, many systems have mechanism for allowing programs written by user to be used by other users. For example, intruder may write an editor program that works perfectly as an editor but also creates a copy of edited files to specific area accessible to the intruder. Next, active attack. Here, active attack attempts to alter system resource or affect their operations. Active attack involves some modification of data string or creation of false statement. Here in active attack, unlike passive attack, active attacks interfere with the normal functioning of the system and often have damaging effect. The most common type of damage that active attack cause are corrupting files, destroy data, or imitating hardware errors, slowing down the systems. In active attack, first one is virus. Virus is small computer program that needs to be executed by either running it or having it loaded from boot sector of disk. Virus is small self-contained piece of computer code hidden with another computer program. Like a real virus, it can reproduce, infect other computers and then lie dormant for months or years before it strikes. Next is worm. It is small piece of software that use computer network and security holes to replica itself. A computer worm spreads like virus but an independent program rather than hidden inside another program. Next, logic bomb. Logic bomb is piece of code intentionally inserted in software system that will set off malicious of functions when specified conditions are met. Here logic bomb is program normally hidden deep in main computer and set to activate at some point in future to destroy data. Next, integrity attack. Here for secure communication, the integrity requirement specifies that every message is received exactly as it was sent or disparity detected. Here an intruder can change the message while it is traveling in communication channel and the receiver may interpret it as original message. Here person A send message hello to person B but intruder change the message from hello to hi and finally received message at B is hi. Next, authenticity attack. Here, an intruder can illegally connect to the computer network and impersonate and insert bogus message with valid address in the systems. This will then be delivered as genuine message. Here, if an integrity attack is possible, an intruder may also cause an unauthenticity attack by changing the protocol control information, that is address of the message, so that they are delivered to wrong destination. Here person A and B, person A send hello B message to person B, but here intruder add some extra message like meet me at 5 p.m. and finally received message at B is hello B, meet me at 5 p.m. That is the example of authenticity attack. Next, denial attack. Denial attack is an intruder might party or completely block communication path between two processes so that two processes cannot communicate at all or observe all the message exchange between two processes and prevent only selected message from delivery. Here person A, person B send hello B message, then blocks communication. So for the some time that the intruder will jam the secure here block communication, that is intruder will jam the secure channel, or you can say communication path between sender and receiver. Next is delay attack. Delay attack, several messages have some time value. Here an intruder can delay the message delivery, that can make it useless to receive if it is received late. Here person A sent the message hello B, meet me at 5 p.m. to person B, sent at 4 p.m. but intruder delay the message sent by A, and after delay of 2 hours, after delay of 2 hours time at 6 p.m. send the same message hello B, meet me at 5 p.m. and here finally received message at B is hello B, meet me at 5 p.m. and here time is 6 p.m. and message is hello B, meet me at 5 p.m. Okay, that is meaningless. Next, replay attack. Replay attack, here an intruder retransmit an old message that is accepted as new message by the receiver. Here person A send the message hello B, meet me at 5 p.m. A on 16 June 16, but intruder repeat the same message on 20th June 16 and finally received message at B on 20th June is hello B, meet me at 5 p.m. on 16 June 16. Next, digital signatures. Digital signatures are the public key primitives of message authentication. A digital signature is mathematical technique used to validate the authenticity and integrity of message or software or digital document. In the physical world, it is common to use handwritten signatures on handwritten or typed message. They are used to bind signatory to message. In real world, the receiver of message needs assurance that message belongs to sender and he should not be able to repudiate original of that message. Here, digital signature is technique that binds the person or entity to digital data. This binding can be independently verified by receiver as well as any third party. Here, digital signatures is cryptographic value that is calculated from the data and secret key known by the signer. Next, access control. When a secure channel is set up between client and server, the client can issue request to server. Here, a request can be carried out only if client has sufficient access rights for the invocation. Here, verifying access rights is known as access control, while the authorization is the process of granting access rights. Here is subject, here is object, and here is reference monitor. Request for operation, here authorized request. Here the object may be an abstract entirely like process, file, database, semaphore, tree, data structure, or physical entity like CPU, memory, segment, or printer, tape drive, or you can say network site, etc. Here each object has unique name that differentiate it from others in the system and it is referenced by unique name. Here the object is associated with a type to determine the type of operation that can be performed on it. Here subjects are the process that act on behalf of users or they could be objects that need service of other objects to carry out their task. Here subjects is in other words an active entity whose access to objects needs to be controlled. Here the entities that need to access and perform operation on objects and so that which access authorizations are granted are known as subjects. Here is reference monitor. Here reference monitor it records which subject may do what and decide whether subject is allowed to have specific operation carried out. Thank you.